Good afternoon, everyone. This is Heather Turner. I am currently the Division E Director for District 53, and it is dues renewal time yet again this year. Just a couple of quick things that might help get your members paying their dues on time, and while this may not necessarily be applicable for everyone, this might help you. And there are tax deductions for Toastmasters. This is available in the Dropbox that we hopefully have shared the link for you if you do not have it. Please contact a member of the district and we'll be happy to share it with you. It's also available, but it's a little buried, on the Toastmasters website. And actually, if you just Google tax deductions for Toastmasters, you will easily come to this PDF online. While this may not be applicable for everyone, a lot of people in business can deduct club dues. So I would read through this and see whether it is applicable to yourself and maybe to your members, and it's actually a great incentive to get them to pay up. The other thing is, if your club is using Free Toast Host 2, there's a fairly new feature in the website itself that you can actually send out dues reminders to members. One of the caveats of this is that you actually do have to have all of the members' information in there, including their email address that they use to connect to Toastmasters International and also that they use for the club so that you can send them the reminders itself. Once you have that information in there, if you have admin access, you would launch your administrative control. And your first step would go into this tab right here, which is Access Settings. And if you scroll down just a tad, you can do Select Officers Allowed to Access the Dues tool. Now, obviously, you want your treasurer doing this, but it also helps if your president and perhaps your VP also has access so that they can send out reminders to people. Sometimes the treasurer is busy and they're not always on top of things as perhaps they could be because they're busy. So this is a way for other members of the club to help get those dues renewal out there. So once you've selected those particular people, you can hit Save. And then we're going to go up to the top here where it says Select a Module, and you go to Website Settings and click down, and you'll see this tab here that says Dues Management. Now this is important because you want to make sure that this is completely filled out. So you'll have your club name in here, the name of the person who can accept checks at the meetings. You can also add several people separated by a comma, so you could put someone else's name in here. Email and or phone number of treasurer is important to put in there. I've actually taken out some significant information in case this particular video is public. The last meeting date members can hand in a check. And at this point, it might be a little bit late for that unless you have a meeting coming up. But please keep this in mind for next year when we have the next dues renewal. So checks must be received by, and make sure you change this next year. And then the amount of check or cash, and make sure that you put in specifically for 6 months or for 12 months. Make checks payable to, and then you would put in that person's mailing address. And this is where you can change the custom information that's in here. So hello member name, don't change any of this because it will autofill whatever fields that you've put in here that are in those tabulations. So if you want to edit that, you can. You can also put in a custom message. If your club uses PayPal, you can put in the button code if you'd like as well. And direct deposit, I don't know of any clubs using that, but that is an option as well. And so here you'll have the invoice preview. And so scroll through this, check for any typing errors, obviously, and make sure that it reads how you'd like to. And then send notices and track payments. And so this is a good one that you can do to track who is actually paid so that if someone else is helping out the treasurer can go in here and instead of having to go into toastmasters.com or .org, they can actually see here in the club website who has paid their dues already and how they have paid. And so if you have a member that, for example, is on leave or they've transferred to another club and they're still in your database, you can hit no email or other, or if they don't have email at all, for example, perhaps they prefer a phone call. And so right now, for example, we have some members in Enfield that have not yet paid, but we know that they have checks being mailed in. We just haven't received them yet. So anytime you make a change in here, you want to make sure that you update changes only, or you can update and send notices. So it will not send notices out to those people that have selected that they have already paid or have another option in here. So once those are done, those will automatically send an email to everybody. And then you can follow that up in a week later or 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later and keep reminding people. But it's a great kind of unobnoxious way to remind people to do that. And then there is this tab here for dues follow-up. So there's the status report, and basically you can also go follow up emails using one of these methods. It makes it a little bit easier to do that as well that way. And that's all she wrote for this afternoon, and I hope that helped just a little bit for those members who are using FreeToast Host. And thank you everyone, and have a terrific day.